The next section, 6.6, is going to focus on function operations, which I think you're going to find to be very easy. We have obviously 4 basic operations that you've learned since you were in elementary school: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And all we're going to look at is what is the notation and what is the expectation when you're being asked to add, subtract, multiply, or divide functions. So it just kind of takes you through this chart, takes you through like what does it look like? So when you write this with function notation, your 2 functions are going to be named something like f and g, or h and w. It can be any function names in terms of x. And then you're going to be asked to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So I'm going to focus this video on adding and subtracting. Then we'll talk multiplying. Then we'll talk division. And then we have kind of one extra piece that we'll deal with at the end. So we'll start with addition. So when you have something, and this slide has all different operations, when you have something with addition and subtraction, so like looking at the top 2 examples here. So you're given 2 functions. We call them, in this case, the f function and the g function. And the directions will ask you to add or subtract. When you are adding, you are simply adding like terms. So when I go to add f and g, I'm just going to add the x's together. So 3x plus 2x is 5x. And I'm going to add your constants together. So -7 plus 1 is -6. You do have to be careful with subtraction. And the reason I'm saying that is, first of all, the order that you do subtraction does matter. So in this case, it wants g to come first, and then f to be after the subtraction. And here's what you have to watch with subtraction. You have to make sure you distribute that minus sign. So what your first equation, the one in front of the minus sign, is not going to change. But when I distribute the minus sign, we're now going to have a minus 3x and a plus 7. Now I'm combining like terms, and I get 2x minus 3x is -x, and 1 plus 7 is 8. So subtraction you definitely want to watch. So I want to show you in Delta Math kind of the way they present it. So we're going to look at addition ones first, just so you can kind of see the notation. So here's an example of how they're going to present an addition question. They're going to write out your 2 functions, f and g. They tend to stick with f and g. And then they're going to ask you to add them together. You can really do this with very little work. With the addition, you are truly just looking at like terms. So there's no like term with x squared, so that's going to be your first term. They do ask for it in standard form, meaning they want the highest exponent first. So then I'm going to add my x terms together. So I'm going to have a 3x and an x. And then finally, I'm going to add my constants together, my -28 and 7. So that's what you're doing with addition. Addition should be the quickest. Make sure you put it in standard form. If they don't, they will consider it a wrong answer. And make sure you're adding all of your like terms together before you submit your answer. Now with subtraction, so you're going to have ones that look like this with subtraction. They're still going to have f and g. Make sure you look at the order. Make sure you check and see which one they want you to put first. So in this case, they want f and then minus g. So your f equation is not going to change. I usually do a little bit of work for subtraction. But then when I subtract your g equation, I want to put it in parentheses, or you could kind of do it in your head and distribute that minus sign if you're comfortable with that. They still expect standard form, so I don't have anything with my x squared. It's by itself. I then have a minus 10x, and then a minus x, so that's going to be minus 11x. And then I have a 24 and a minus 6. So 24 minus a minus 6 is going to be 24 plus 6, which is 30. So you're going to type it in like that. Again, make sure it's in standard form. Just watch your minus signs with the distributing. I don't know if many of them do switch the order of the subtraction. Kind of look at a few here. It looks like most of them are just doing f minus g. So that is your addition and your subtraction. It should be very quick. You should be very comfortable with these, and you should be able to go through them very fast.